Have you ever stopped to think that the answers to your biggest questions about life, happiness, and purpose might be hidden in simple yet profound pages? Imagine finding a compass capable of guiding you through internal storms and illuminating the path to a fuller and more meaningful life. Today we will explore 5 books that have the power to transform your worldview and open doors to a deeper understanding of Buddhism and spirituality. If you are seeking clarity, peace, and a way to better understand yourself and the universe around you, this video was made especially for you. Now, take a moment to reflect. How many times have you felt lost amidst the pressures of daily life, searching for something to bring calm to your mind and meaning to your existence? Perhaps you've heard of Buddhism but don't know where to start. Or maybe you're already on the path of self-discovery but wish to deepen your journey. Regardless of where you are right now, these books have been carefully chosen to inspire, educate, and connect you with teachings that can change your perspective on yourself and the world. They are like lanterns, illuminating steps that often seem invisible in the dark. These books range from daily practices to profound philosophical reflections. Some will help you cultivate serenity in moments of uncertainty, while others invite you to dive into Zen stories that challenge your perception and expand your mind. They remind us that spiritual growth is not something distant or unattainable but something that can be lived here and now, in the small things of everyday life. After all, who said wisdom has to be complicated? So, prepare yourself to dive into words that touch the heart, expand the mind, and invite us to reflect on who we are and our place in the universe. This is an invitation to look within yourself and discover that the answers we seek are often closer than we imagine. Shall we begin this journey together? Before we proceed, I'd like to make a special request. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, click the subscribe button now. That way you won't miss any content that can help you along your spiritual growth path. Here we create a space of wisdom and connection, where every video is designed to inspire and transform lives. By subscribing, you'll be taking an important step to continue receiving content that can illuminate your journey. Also, activate the notification bell to be alerted whenever a new video is published. Together, we can build a community of people seeking peace, balance, and understanding. To complement this experience, imagine a simple graphic showing how each book connects to different aspects of spirituality, a visual map that guides the viewer through the content. Or perhaps a gentle sound effect, like the ringing of a Tibetan bell, playing softly in the background as we talk about the books. These visual and auditory elements can reinforce the calm and reflective atmosphere we aim to convey. Throughout this video, you'll have the opportunity to explore these 5 books in a practical and accessible way. We'll discuss how each work can be applied to your daily life, offering tangible tools to handle emotional challenges, cultivate mindful presence, and even transform simple activities like washing dishes or drinking tea into moments of meditation. Think about it. What if every page of these books could be a seed planted in your mind, blossoming into wisdom and inner peace? This is just the beginning of a journey that promises to be enriching and transformative. So, take a deep breath, relax, and let yourself be carried away by these words that have the power to touch your soul. We are together in this quest for growth and understanding. Shall we get started? Let's begin our journey with 2 books that form a solid foundation for understanding the principles of Buddhism and applying them in daily life. These books are like the first brushstrokes on a blank canvas, defining the outlines of a landscape you're about to explore. They invite us to look inward, to observe the world around us with fresh eyes, and to find meaning in the simplest things in life. The first book is The Heart of the Buddha, written by Thich Nhat Hanh, one of the most influential masters of contemporary Buddhism. Imagine someone who can translate profound concepts into words so simple that anyone can understand them. This is exactly what Thich Nhat Hanh does in this book. He explores themes such as the nature of the mind, the practice of mindfulness, and the importance of compassion. One of the most striking lessons is that suffering should not be seen as an enemy but as a teacher. By embracing our difficulties with kindness, we can transform them into sources of wisdom. Think about it. How many times have you felt frustrated or overwhelmed by something that seemed beyond your control? Now imagine embracing those moments not as obstacles but as opportunities to learn and grow. Thich Nhat Hanh teaches us that suffering is a natural part of life, just as rain is a natural part of the water cycle. Without it, there would be no flowers or harvest. Similarly, our challenges can nourish our soul and help us flourish if we know how to handle them. Moreover, the heart of the Buddha offers practical tools to integrate these teachings into everyday life. For example, he suggests that simple activities like washing dishes or walking can become moments of meditation. When you wash the dishes, pay attention to the sensation of water on your hands, the smell of the soap, the sound of the dishes being cleaned. This simple practice can turn a routine task into a moment of peace and connection with yourself. Sounds like magic, doesn't it? But it's simply the art of being present. Alongside the heart of the Buddha, we have The Journey in the White Carriage by Benjamin Hoff. This book takes us into the world of Zen stories, where each narrative is a life lesson disguised as simplicity. Hoff combines Buddhist teachings with Taoist philosophy, exploring themes like duality, balance, and harmony with the natural flow of life. He challenges us to question our relentless pursuit of control and certainty, suggesting that we often find more peace when we embrace uncertainty. Each story is an invitation to reflect, helping us see beauty in the small things. Imagine trying to control the wind. You can try to hold it with all your strength, but it will always find a way to escape. However, if you relax and let the wind guide you, it might take you to unexpected and wonderful places. This is the essence of the Zen stories presented in The Journey in the White Carriage. They remind us that the answer to many of our questions often lies not in fighting against what we cannot control but in accepting and flowing with what life offers us. These two books form a solid foundation for anyone seeking to understand the principles of Buddhism and apply them in daily life. While the heart of the Buddha provides practical tools for cultivating mindfulness and compassion, The Journey in the White Carriage broadens our perspective with inspiring stories that challenge the way we see the world. Together, they create a perfect balance between theory and practice, reflection and action. To complement this experience, imagine a simple graphic showing how each book connects to different aspects of spirituality, a visual map that guides the viewer through the content, or perhaps a gentle sound effect, like the sound of a Zen flute, playing softly in the background as we talk about these stories. These visual and auditory elements can reinforce the calm and reflective atmosphere we aim to convey. And so, which of these books caught your attention the most? Perhaps you resonate with Thich Nhat Hanh's practical approach, or maybe you prefer the inspiring stories of Benjamin Hoff. Regardless of your choice, both have the power to transform your worldview and illuminate your inner journey. Stay with us as we continue to explore these treasures of wisdom further. Now, let's talk about a book that can transform your daily routine into a spiritual practice. The Miracle of Mindfulness, another masterpiece by Thich Nhat Hanh. This book is like a magical key that opens doors to a world where even the most mundane tasks become moments of deep connection with the present. Imagine turning simple activities like washing dishes or drinking a cup of tea into moments of peace and clarity. Sounds impossible? It's not. And that's exactly what this book teaches us. Thich Nhat Hanh shows us that the key to a more meaningful life doesn't lie in grand achievements or external accomplishments, but rather in how we choose to live each moment. He introduces simple practices, like walking mindfully or observing our breath, as ways to dispel mental agitation and bring clarity amidst the chaos of daily life. Think about it. How many times have you felt overwhelmed by incessant thoughts, future worries, or past regrets? Now imagine being able to stop all of that, even if just for a few minutes, and simply be present. That's the power of mindfulness. One of the central ideas of this book is that happiness is not in the future, but in the present. How often have you postponed your happiness, telling yourself that you'll be happy when you get that job, buy that house, or achieve that goal? But what if happiness were available right now, in this very moment? When we practice mindfulness, we begin to notice the interconnectedness of all things. Have you ever stopped to think about how the simple act of breathing connects you to the world around you? Each breath is a gift, a reminder that you are alive here and now. This awareness generates a sense of gratitude and responsibility for collective well-being, because we realize that our actions, no matter how small, impact the world. To illustrate this, imagine yourself walking in a park. Instead of walking distractedly, looking at your phone or thinking about your day's tasks, you decide to pay attention to each step. Feel the texture of the ground beneath your feet, the gentle breeze on your face, the sound of leaves rustling in the wind. This simple practice can transform a routine walk into a profound experience of connection with the world around you. It's like awakening to a new level of awareness, noticing details that previously went unnoticed. Another practical example that Thich Nhat Hanh offers is the practice of washing dishes mindfully. Yes, something as simple as washing dishes can become a meditation. Instead of seeing this task as a boring chore, you can use it as an opportunity to cultivate presence. Feel the water flowing over your hands, notice the smell of the soap, listen to the sound of the dishes being cleaned. These small moments of attention can bring a sense of calm and satisfaction that we often seek in the wrong places. This book also teaches us that mindfulness isn't just about ourselves, but about how we can contribute to the well-being of others. When we are present, we begin to notice how our actions affect those around us. For example, practicing mindful listening to someone without judgment or interruptions, can create deeper and more meaningful connections. This simple practice can transform relationships, both personal and professional. Moreover, the miracle of mindfulness invites us to see life as a river. Just as water flows continuously, life is also in constant motion. Trying to control or resist this flow only brings us suffering. However, when we learn to flow with it, to accept the present moment as it is, we find inner peace. This metaphor is especially powerful because it reminds us that life is not something we can fully master. Instead, it's a journey that we should embrace with lightness and curiosity. To complement this experience, imagine a graphic showing how the practice of mindfulness can impact different areas of life, from emotional well-being to productivity at work. Or perhaps a gentle sound effect, like the sound of flowing water, playing softly in the background as we talk about these practices. These visual and auditory elements can reinforce the calm and reflective atmosphere we aim to convey. And so, which of these practices would you like to try first? Perhaps starting by washing dishes mindfully or practicing mindful listening with someone close to you. Regardless of your choice, remember that mindfulness is a skill that can be developed gradually, like a plant that grows with care and patience. Stay with us as we continue to explore these treasures of wisdom further. Our next book takes us to a fascinating work that transcends cultural and philosophical boundaries. The Monk and the Philosopher, written by Jean-François Revel and his son, Matthew Ricard. Imagine a deep conversation between two seemingly opposite worlds. Western philosophy with its rational and analytical foundations, and Buddhist teachings with their contemplative and practical approach. This work is like a bridge that connects these two traditions, allowing us to explore their similarities and differences in an accessible and enriching way. The book is organized as a series of dialogues between father and son, where each defends their viewpoints on universal themes such as happiness, freedom, morality, and the meaning of life. Revel, representing the Western philosophical tradition, questions the foundations of Buddhism with curiosity and intellectual rigor. He doesn't hesitate to challenge the ideas presented by his son, raising questions that many of us might also have when encountering Eastern concepts for the first time. On the other hand, Matthew, with his experience as a monk and scholar of Tibetan Buddhism, offers profound and well-founded responses, based on years of practice and study. One of the most impactful passages occurs when Matthew explains that Buddhism is not just a philosophy or religion, but a science of the mind. He argues that Buddhist teachings are based on direct observation and practice, without rigid dogmas, and that anyone can test their truths for themselves. This rational and empirical approach particularly resonates with readers who have a scientific or philosophical background. It's as if he were saying, "Don't just believe me because I said it, try it yourself." This idea is powerful because it invites us to become active investigators of our own lives, rather than passive recipients of information. To illustrate this, imagine yourself in a laboratory, but instead of microscopes and test tubes, you're using your own mind as a tool for investigation. Every thought, emotion, or sensation that arises is data to be observed and understood. Buddhism teaches us that by observing our mind mindfully, we begin to notice patterns and habits that often keep us trapped in unnecessary suffering. This practice can be compared to cleaning a dusty mirror. The clearer the surface, the better we can see our true nature. Another fascinating point in the book is the discussion about happiness. Revel, with his Western perspective, often associates happiness with external achievements, such as professional success or social recognition. Matthew, on the other hand, argues that true happiness comes from within and is directly linked to the state of our mind. He uses simple metaphors like that of a tranquil lake to explain that when the mind is agitated by negative thoughts or constant distractions, it's difficult to find peace. However, when we cultivate inner calm like a lake without waves, we can clearly reflect the world around us and find genuine contentment. This work also invites us to rethink our relationship with freedom. For many in the West, freedom means doing what we want when we want. But Matthew suggests that true freedom lies in mastering our own thoughts and emotions, rather than being controlled by them. Imagine yourself adrift in a boat, being carried by the currents of desires and aversions. Now imagine yourself with an oar in hand, able to navigate with intention and purpose. That's the difference between being a slave to our automatic reactions and being the captain of our own life. Moreover, the book explores themes like morality and ethics, showing how Buddhism offers a compassionate and practical perspective for dealing with moral dilemmas. Instead of following rigid rules, Buddhist teachings encourage us to act with kindness and wisdom, considering the impact of our actions on all living beings. This perspective broadens our view, reminding us that we are part of an interconnected web of life. To complement this experience, imagine a graphic showing how different philosophical traditions approach themes like happiness and freedom. Or perhaps a gentle sound effect, like the ringing of Tibetan bells, playing softly in the background as we discuss the dialogues between East and West. These visual and auditory elements can reinforce the contemplative atmosphere we aim to convey. And so, which of these ideas caught your attention the most? Perhaps the idea that Buddhism is a science of the mind, or the metaphor of the tranquil lake to explain happiness. Regardless of your choice, this book is essential for anyone who wants to explore the connections between different schools of thought and expand their understanding of what it means to live a full and meaningful life. Stay with us as we continue to explore these treasures of wisdom further. Finally, we arrive at the fifth book of this journey, The Art of Living, also written by Thich Nhat Hanh. This book is much more than just a simple read. It's a practical guide to transforming our daily lives into a spiritual practice. Imagine being able to turn every moment of your day, from the moment you wake up to the time you go to sleep, into an opportunity to cultivate peace, balance, and connection with yourself and the world around you. Sounds like a distant dream? It's not. With the teachings from this book, you can start today. Thich Nhat Hanh teaches us that living fully doesn't mean constantly seeking something outside ourselves, but rather learning to be completely present in the current moment. How often have you caught yourself thinking about the future or dwelling on the past, while the present simply slips through your fingers? Now imagine being able to stop all of that and deeply immerse yourself in the here and now. That's the invitation The Art of Living extends to us. It addresses themes such as the power of breath, the importance of tending to our emotions, and the need to create healthy, harmonious relationships with the people around us. One of the most striking ideas in this book is the practice of mindful breathing. By paying attention to our breath, we can calm the mind and reconnect with our body, creating a space of inner peace. Think about it. Breathing is something we do automatically without even noticing, but when we begin to observe it with intention, it becomes a powerful anchor to the present. It's as if each inhale and exhale reminds us that we are alive here and now. This simple practice can be done anywhere, on the bus on your way to work, during a lunch break, or even before going to bed. Just pause for a few moments, feel the air entering and leaving your body, and allow your mind to settle. To illustrate this, imagine yourself in a garden. Each breath is like watering a plant. If you water your plants with care and attention, they grow strong and healthy. Similarly, when you nurture your breath with mindfulness, you're nourishing your mind and body, allowing a state of calm and clarity to flourish. This metaphor is especially powerful because it reminds us that small actions, when done with intention, can have a profound impact on our lives. Another fascinating point in the book is the emphasis on the importance of caring for our emotions. Thich Nhat Hanh invites us to see our emotions not as enemies but as messengers. When we feel anger, sadness, or frustration, Instead of repressing these feelings or letting them overwhelm us, we can embrace them with kindness. He suggests simple practices like placing your hand over your heart and saying to yourself, "It's okay. I'm here for you." This attitude of self-compassion can completely transform the way we handle emotional challenges. Moreover, the book reminds us of the importance of creating healthy and harmonious relationships with the people around us. Thich Nhat Hanh uses the metaphor of a tree to explain this. Just as a tree needs deep roots to grow strong, we need genuine connections with others to thrive. He teaches us that by practicing compassionate listening and loving communication, we can build more meaningful and lasting relationships. Imagine yourself talking to a friend or family member, but instead of thinking about what you'll say next, you're fully present, listening to every word with attention and empathy. This simple practice can completely transform the dynamics of your interactions. This book also invites us to rethink our relationship with time. Often, we live as if we're racing against the clock, trying to cram as many activities as possible into a single day. But what if we could shift our perspective and see time not as an enemy, but as an ally? Thich Nhat Hanh suggests that instead of trying to do more, we should focus on doing better. This means giving our full attention to each task, whether big or small. For example, when having breakfast, savor every bite. When walking, notice each step. This approach helps us regain a sense of purpose and satisfaction in our daily lives. To complement this experience, imagine a graphic showing how different practices suggested in the book, such as mindful breathing, compassionate listening, and mindfulness, can impact specific areas of life, like emotional well-being, productivity, and the quality of relationships. Or perhaps a gentle sound effect, like the sound of a Zen flute, playing softly in the background as we discuss these practices. These visual and auditory elements can reinforce the calm and reflective atmosphere we aim to convey. And so, which of these practices would you like to try first? Perhaps starting with 5 minutes of mindful breathing each day or paying more attention to your emotions. Regardless of your choice, remember that the art of living is an invitation to integrate Buddhist teachings into your daily routine, turning every moment into an opportunity to cultivate peace and balance. Stay with us as we continue to explore these treasures of wisdom further. We have reached the end of this journey through 5 books that are true beacons of wisdom in the vast ocean of spirituality and Buddhism. Each work we explored today, The Heart of the Buddha, The Journey in the White Carriage, The Miracle of Mindfulness, The Monk and the Philosopher, and The Art of Living, carries a unique message, but all converge on the same purpose: to help us find clarity, balance, and inner peace. These books are not just words printed on pages. They are portals to a world of self-discovery, reflection, and transformation. These books are much more than simple readings. They are invitations to look within ourselves and reflect on how we can live more fully and consciously. Whether through practices of mindful presence, Zen stories that challenge our perception, or deep dialogues between philosophical traditions, every page invites us to embrace simplicity, cultivate compassion, and recognize the interconnectedness of all things. They remind us that we are part of something far greater than our individual egos, and that even the simplest moments can become sources of wisdom and growth. Remember, the spiritual path is not a race, but a calm and continuous journey. No matter where you are right now, these works can be valuable companions in your process of self-discovery and transformation. They remind us that even in the most challenging moments, there is always an opportunity to learn, grow, and evolve. Just as a small seed can grow into a majestic tree, the teachings we absorb today can blossom into meaningful changes tomorrow. May every word you read be a seed planted in your mind and heart, ready to sprout when you least expect it. I hope this video has illuminated your path and inspired you to dive into these rich and profound readings. If any of these books touches your heart or transforms your perspective, share your experience in the comments. Here we are together in this quest for wisdom and balance. Your voice matters, and your reflections can inspire others to embark on this journey as well. Before we conclude, I'd like to leave you with one final thought. Imagine your life as a river. Sometimes it flows smoothly and calmly, reflecting the blue sky above. Other times, it encounters rocks and rapids, creating turbulence. But regardless of the moment, the river keeps flowing, always moving toward the ocean. Similarly, our spiritual journey is filled with ups and downs, but the key is to maintain the flow, keep moving forward, and trust the process. Every obstacle is an opportunity to learn, and every moment of calm is a chance to appreciate the beauty of life. Thank you so much for being here with me in this exchange of knowledge and inspiration. You are part of a community that values personal growth, wisdom, and connection. If this content touched your heart, don't forget to like the video, share it with someone who is also seeking spiritual growth, and of course, subscribe to the channel to continue receiving more content like this. Together, we can create a space for learning and transformation. Until the next video, I wish you a journey full of discoveries, inner peace, and moments of deep connection with yourself and the world around you. Remember, wisdom is within your reach, you just need to be willing to seek it. Namaste.